We welcome you back from Fort Worth, Texas. A beautiful Thursday afternoon here. Great day to get the NCAA tournament started. Dickies Arena, brand new home of the NCAA tournament. Their first ever hosting appearance, and we've got a great one coming up. The Marquette Golden Eagles, the 9 seed, against the North Carolina Tar Heels, the 8 seed. The winner of this game will match up against Baylor. We saw Baylor dispatch Norfolk State on this floor just a moment ago. And the defending national champion Bears awaiting the winner of Carolina and Marquette. They share a lot of history, these two programs. And with that, we welcome you. Brian Anderson along with the College Basketball Hall of Famer, Jim Jackson. Man, this has a chance to be a great first-round matchup. What are your headlines coming in here?
Well, you got some headliners, Armando Bacot, because of what he's been able to do on the rebounding, the basketball. 25 double-doubles. That's first all-time in North Carolina history, but also can drop in some buckets. You see 17 points a game. Other end of the ledger for Marquette, Justin Lewis. Most improved player in the Big East, first team all Big East, dropping 23 points a game in his last 3 games. Big, strong, athletic. Both teams love to get up and down. The ones that commit the least turnovers, I think, have the best advantage. 2
first-year coaches at their programs as well, and Shaka Smart and Hubert Davis, and their lineups look like this. It is presented by Wendy's. Essentially, Lewis surrounded by transfers. Tyler Kolek, Daryl Morcell, Olivier Maxence Prosper, and Kirk Queth. Caleb Love, R.J. Davis, the keys in the backcourt with Leaky Black, Brady Manek, the Oklahoma transfer, and then Armando Bacot. Hubert Davis taking over for Roy Williams. 9 years an assistant under Roy Williams. 3 national championships with Williams, and now he gets to watch his protege in the hot seat. And there's Shaka Smart, first year at Marquette, the Wisconsin native. Started his career at VCU, a great run there, 6 years, to the University of Texas for 6 years, 3 times in the NCAA tournament, and now in his first year, what was thought might be a rebuild for Marquette, they are back in the NCAA tournament. Sellout crowd on hand to watch this one. Carolina and Marquette, once matched up in a national championship game back in 1977. Away we go. The Tar Heels control the tip. R.J. Davis moving over to that point guard position. Love's such an important piece to the North Carolina puzzle, and typically as he goes, the Tar Heels go. Marquette, an excellent defensive team, a ton of deflections. They are ball hawks, all of them, as Bacot gets our scoring started here this afternoon at Fort Worth.
Yeah, tried to find Bacot early in the center, but patiently waited for the offense to evolve. And that time, both Lewis and Queth kind of left Bacot to knock in that jump shot, a little miscommunication.
Max Prosper, and he travels. The turnover, first possession of the game for Marquette, and that's an area for Shaka Smart that you must limit against a very talented North Carolina team.
Well, because you have those empty possessions, and against North Carolina, you got to score the basketball. But if you're turning it over, in particular live ball turnovers, where now you allow North Carolina to get out in front, you can be behind the 8 ball pretty quickly.
Davis, and denied by Lewis. That'll be Carolina ball. Tar Heels lost to Virginia Tech in the ACC tournament. You see Lewis, a lot of talk about his offense, and rightly so, but he gets the block here.
Well, but also Shaka Smart challenged Lewis to become a better all-around defensive player. You see Kirk Queth right there. Twice he was able to get a hand on it. And that's why it's important that Queth, early in this game, don't pick up a cheap foul. Because you have to be in the game to be able to protect the paint in the front of the rim, i.e. those last 2 blocks.
Morcell, the Maryland transfer, comes up empty on his first try. Marquette right now being given credit for 2 blocks. I think they actually had 3. Queth got him twice on the last end down. 3-pointer is good, and you know Caleb Love, to see that one go through his first shot, that could be dangerous for Marquette. Kolek kicks it to the corner. 3-pointer is down. Max Prosper knocks down the 3, puts Marquette on the board for the first time. 3s and layups. That's the story for Marquette. Justin Lewis has a pretty good mid-range game, but this is a team, if they shoot well, they can beat anybody in the country, and had a great run as the calendar turned to the new year. They had won 7 consecutive games. Love again, no, and the follow Bacot right there, Morcell. Same spot, Prosper, and he's 2 for 2.
But it's all set up by Kolek. Again, in their half-court set, Kolek is so good at identifying where his teammates are to get him the rock, and right there in transition, didn't hesitate to give it right back to Prosper for another 3.
Queth knocks it free, 15 to shoot here. Davis will get it organized, mismatch with the big man on him, and now a long 3 on its way. Back iron, maybe settled. Offensive board, Manek. On the take goes Love. Oh, almost got it to go. Off the front of the rim, Marquette wants to run. Morcell in the corner, 3 ball on its way. And there's Manek with a rebound. Boy, how good has he been? Transfer from Oklahoma. He and Queth played together for the Sooners in Oklahoma. They match up today. Bacot takes a big man right to the hole and scores with a left hand.
And Bacot was able to use that big frame up top to kind of dig into the chest of Queth and push him back to create that space to get the shot.
Kolek to Queth.
Right back at
Nicely done.
And Kolek again. The quick pass decision, little pocket pass. And that time Marquette quickly operated before the North Carolina defense could get set.
There's 2 coaches with opposite philosophies. A lot of it has to do with personnel, but Shaka Smart will play a rotation of 9, maybe 10 here today. North Carolina will not. They'll stretch maybe to 7, but their starters log the heavy minutes as Love knocks down another 3. The St. Louis native off to a good start.
Yeah, and it's dangerous because once he begins to knock in that shot, you're going to close out a lot closer. He could drive by you.
Morcell had a good look, too long, leaky Black on the drive. Black, no. Queth affecting that shot. He is a beast inside.
Yep.
2 terrific big men, and that's blocked by Manek. In transition, Carolina, a little bit of a scramble here. Also Iguodaro. Greg Elliott set to check in, changes for Shaka Smart, and Bacot can't get that one to go. Hubert Davis was a little bit concerned. They played well as Carolina. They've won 12 of their last 15, but they don't go deep. Marquette, you know, wants to play fast, Jimmy.
Yeah, but you have to pick and choose your spots if you're North Carolina when you want to push the tempo because of the short bench.
Leaky Black set up by Love, can't get it to go. Second chance here for Carolina. Here goes Caleb Love. And he's got Lewis on him. Lewis trying to stay with him. Keeps his dribble, and then the scoop. It was all pretty until it missed by a foot.
You know, that was a $20 move, $10 shot right there.
That's got Hubert Davis upset. Kolek again, 2-man game with Queth. Can't get that one to fall.
Hubert wants to slow it down a little bit. Wanting to be able to catch your breath, but also get a good set play in their half-court offense.
Carolina with a great rally at the end of the year. They had won 6 in a row before their loss to Virginia Tech in the ACC tournament. Here's a big reason why. Manek can't knock that one down. He lost his headband, so he's got to shoot with hair in his face right now, Jimmy. That's a challenge. Not for you, but for some others.
Wait, you know, when you have nice lettuce like that, you're used to having it. So
he was searching for it. I'm not sure where it went. It popped off.
I guarantee he won't turn down a shot for it.
Here's Lewis
because of it.
Usually he's got it pulled back. Hard to believe a guy who's just been North Carolina 1 year is such a fan favorite. And he's been big in the big games. Of course, their win, Carolina's win at Duke in Coach K's final game, one of the signature moments of the season. Love, long 3 on its way. No. And there's Morcell with a rebound.
And that's what the guards have to do. Queth puts a body on Bacot, and now your guards got to come and clean up the loose change. That time Morcell able to do it.
Strong. Can't finish. Boy, he's just been a little off.
Yep.
He's had some good looks.
Yeah, but Bacot was right there too. So don't you think that out the side of his eye, he didn't see him.
7 minutes into this one. The 8-9 matchup. Carolina and Marquette. That's a foul on the 3. So Manek will shoot 3 when we come back. Substitutions coming for Marquette. Manek, he lost it, keeping the salad together. See if he can come up with it before we get to the free throws. Check our tournament summary. Providence moving on from the Big East, a 4 seed. And how about Baylor just dismantling Norfolk State on this floor earlier here today. Well, Carolina, the big win on the road at Duke. That's what everybody wants to talk about. Allie LaForce, this team was firmly on the bubble until that time. Now they're an 8 seed.
Well, they're trying to shock the world again. They did that once before when the unranked Tar Heels went into Cameron Indoor and beat a top 5 Duke team. First time in 32 years that scenario has happened, and also was in Coach Davis's first season as a head coach, which makes it even more special. He keeps saying he wants to bring his personality to this program, and here's an example of how he did it. He took the entire team after that win to Franklin Street, where all the students were celebrating. They told him the street was closed. He said, "I don't care." Took the bus as close as he could get, got on the speakerphone and said, "Everybody get off and you go have fun and you celebrate with your fellow students." Caleb Love told me the students bomb rushed them. Everybody was celebrating them. Now, Coach's kids were also on the bus, and he said, "Not you, you're staying on the bus. You're too young, but everybody else can get off." He said just because they were robbed of that college experience with COVID, he wanted them to be motivated and remember that feeling. So it's something that they wanted to achieve again. He's played or served as an assistant coach 14 times at Cameron, but this one by far the most memorable.
Very nice. Good stuff there, Allie. And because I know you were wondering, Brady Manek has found his headband and it's back in place. Changes here for Marquette. Joplin on the floor, the Wisconsin native from the Milwaukee area.
And good defense by Manek right there. Now, you know, and it's never easy when you're following a legend. So Hubert has to take the tenets that he's had from North Carolina, but input his own kind of mantra on the program, and that's just one of them right there in regards to allowing his team to celebrate in that fashion.
Really gave him a jolt of confidence. Much different looking team. He'd like to play a little differently, more 4 out, 1 in, a running team, obviously. I mean, Roy Williams always had those 2 guys in the middle. That's not necessarily where Hubert Davis is going with the program. Hey, Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, it's the best Coke ever. That's what it says here. Like the GOAT. Is this fact checked? Debate the GOATness. R.J. Davis gives it up. Leaky Black in the corner, cut off by Greg Elliott. His first minutes on the floor. And Davis for 3 and a long-range hit for R.J. Davis. 3-pointers falling for North Carolina. They've made 3 thus far. And they lead it by 8. 1 and done for Marquette. Black to Manek, too easy. A breakdown defensively, and Shaka Smart wants a timeout. Iguodaro with the miss on the other end, and Carolina immediately turned it into points.
In transition, Black, Manek, easy money. North Carolina 11-0 run.
10-point Carolina lead. Don't forget, you can watch live men's games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Scan the QR code now to download. A moment ago, Allie LaForce with Carolina head coach Hubert Davis.
Coach, it was a tough offensive start to this game, shooting just 25% until those last couple of possessions. What changed for this offense?
It's not about our offense, it's about our defense. It's about getting stops, rebounding the basketball, and also taking care of it. You know, Marquette is such good at, you know, getting turnovers and getting deflections, and we're doing a better job at taking care of the basketball. That's what we're looking at.
Well, Manek lost his headband there for a couple of minutes. How concerned were you with his shot-making ability?
No, we're going to get the ball down to him. He's been absolutely fantastic all season. He's our guy, and we want to feed him the ball down low on the opponent.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks a lot.
You know, I love when coaches do that, the coach speak, because you don't have any turnovers right now, Hubert. So you've been taking care of the basketball. Yeah. You're going to find something to nitpick at and do it. But I understand what he's saying, because this is a dangerous Marquette team when they start and begin to get deflections, get out in transition. Like right here now, it's a turnover. Let's see if Marquette can take advantage of it.
Well, Shaka Smart made almost a line change. Jones, Elliott, Iguodaro, and Joplin all came in. They look a little disoriented when they got on the floor. And now back on the floor, Lewis and Morcell, and there is Iguodaro inside. Also, Iguodaro scores it. He is the primary backup to Kirk Queth, and he is an important piece, especially as you start to match up against some size.
Well, he is. He's long, he's lengthy. bouncy, but also can step out. Good in the pick and roll game. You see right there, a little soft touch off the glass.
Love wide open, and he knocks it down. Caleb Love off to a great start. His third made three, Jimmy. He's got a quick 9 in this opening game of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, but you know, Marquette right now not doing a good job of keeping the Carolina guards. See a nice little corner shot. The Carolina guards out of the lane, because now you're not closing the gaps. You have to help take a body off, and now the shooters are able to square up and let it go.
Carolina's had a lot of open looks from 3. They're just 4 of 11, but they're getting great looks. Now Bacot inside. Iguodaro knocks it out of his hands. Carolina ball with 13 to shoot. He is a handful down in the paint. Another timeout here on the floor. Love, he's cashed in 3 times from beyond the arc. It's an 11-point Carolina lead. Carolina off to a very fast start, Jimmy. Our game summary, and note Marquette here. They're just 4 of 16 from the field. They don't have a single offensive rebound at this point.
They don't. They haven't been active on the glass, so a lot of opportunities they could have gotten from those missed shots. But how about Carolina? 4 for 11. 3 ball is their friend right now. And you see the rebound margin for the year. North Carolina plus 7.7.
Top 10 in the country in that category. Not a strength for Marquette. They're down near the bottom. Carolina plus 10 in rebounds thus far. And it'll be Tar Heels ball, 13 to shoot, 10:15 remaining in this first half. R.J. Davis will bring it back to the top. Morcell, former Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year at Maryland. They get the switch now. 3 to shoot. Taller player on Davis. Got to get one up. He does. Can't finish it. Lewis with a rebound.
Yeah, that's outstanding defense by Iguodaro right there. It shows his versatility to be able to switch and then guard in space on a quicker R.J. Davis.
Here's Lewis. They got to get him going. In and out it goes. And the shooting woes continue for Marquette. 2 of 8 from 3-point range. Just 4 of 17.
Deep.
There's Love again. Feeling it. Black flying high, gets the offensive rebound, and Love splash down.
I mean, just more active North Carolina is right now. Such a beautiful stroke by Caleb Love. That time, the second time is a charm in the corner for 3.
7 offensive rebounds. Carolina 9-0 in second chance points, and they're up 14. Love's hit his third 3. Here goes Elliott. Got a seam. Nice. Elliott can't finish it. That's another miss.
And that's the thing. Marquette has had some really good looks, but they're not capitalizing on those looks. Hence, you're behind the 8 ball, and that's putting a lot of stress on your defense, Ryan.
Hubert Davis has his point guard, R.J. Davis, to get it organized. Manek. Knocks another one down. The Tar Heels rolling right now. Up 17 as Manek hits his first 3 of the day. 20-2 run for Carolina. Marquette's in desperation mode here early. They got to get something going. Morcell able to draw the contact from Styles.
With such a beautiful stroke. But he's benefiting Caleb Love over the dribble penetration by his teammates, off of missed shot opportunities and kickouts. Spot ups. Now again, you got to guard this young man as soon as he gets off the bus. There's nowhere on this board that he doesn't have the range, but the confidence early by Caleb Love is fueled by the outstanding passing of his teammates here at North Carolina.
Already with 12. He's got a long string of games in double figures. It's 11 in a row now as Morcell, much needed basket for Marquette. That run had pushed to 20-2. Carolina 15. Marquette still with just 5 made baskets. Love probing. Another long 3, and that one's in and out. Offensive board again, and Bacot is fouled. 8th offensive rebound. Bacot's got 3 of those, and he'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
Well, in that particular situation, because Bacot was involved in the pick and roll, Queth had to help a little bit. So when the shot went up, guess where Queth was at? He was on the back side of Bacot, who was able to seal himself inside and pick up another offensive rebound.
Bacot well on his way. He's got 4 points, 7 rebounds at this point. Hey, don't forget, you get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com. Armando Bacot set a North Carolina program record this year with 25 double-doubles. Second most in college basketball. Finished third in rebounding at 12.5 boards a game, but in ACC play was up to 14 rebounds a game.
Yeah, and not shy about saying that he considered himself the player of the year in the ACC as well. But I'm not mad at him for having the confidence, because his play did back it up.
He finished second in the voting. So Love on the bench. Here goes Lewis. And Quest can't finish it. Another chance at it. A third chance. And there's Lewis again inside. And that is going to be out of bounds. Last touch by Carolina. 7:38 remaining, and Carolina on a blitz here in Fort Worth. What a start for the Tar Heels. Now when you're in Fort Worth, you got to make a stop at the Cowboy Hall of Fame here in the state of Texas. Nolan Ryan, yeah, he's a Cowboy for sure. Back at Dickey's here in Fort Worth. A moment ago, Allie had a chance to visit with Shaka Smart.
Well, Coach, I know just 5 made field goals wasn't what you were looking for offensively. How can you tweak the offense to get those higher percentage looks and get them to fall?
Well, I think it's more about finishing them off. But on the defensive end, we've got to go grab the ball. We can't give them so many second opportunities. We're getting a lot of good shots we're not making. I think we'll make those over time, but we've got to defend better and rebound better.
The rebounds were an issue for sure. They weren't shooting a very high percentage either, though, but the 6 made three-pointers really hurt you, too. What about the perimeter defense?
Yeah, most of those shots are after rebounds. Obviously, got to get a high hand up on Manek. Caleb loves shooting the ball really well. So we just got to play with more aggressiveness.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, 8 offensive rebounds. As a result, that means now you have more opportunities to get shots up. And it's not always on your post players and bigs. The guards have to engage once the ball is up. A beautiful backdoor cut, but blocked by Justin Lewis.
So you get Prosper with a drive and a dunk here, flying high. Prosper, one of the few bright spots here for Marquette. He's hit a couple of threes and a throwdown, and Lewis converging to block Puff Johnson coming off that Carolina bench. Carolina plus 11 in the rebounding category at this point. Prosper against the Manek assignment right now. And now R.J. Davis trying to get inside. Now gives it. Johnson, the lefty, fires. He's got a three. Younger brother of Cam, who's having a great year with the Phoenix Suns, following in his brother's footsteps. That's a big hit for Puff Johnson. Lewis misses badly. Long rebound out to Leaky Black. Carolina with the hammer down. A chance to go up 20, maybe 21 here. Tyler Kolek back at the controls. Johnson on him. Kolek with Quet, the floater, no good. Marquette just cannot buy a basket right now.
No, they can't. And that was a really good pick and roll. A nice decision by Kolek to pull up for the little float, a little strong with it. But what happens, Brian, you know this, you see Bacot just working his way down low, using that big body. That when you miss easy shots, like Marquette is doing now, you begin to press. Because those shots are normally going in. You got to find a way to relax offensively. And you can't do that. You can't turn it over.
Give it right back, Carolina. Here's Lewis. Kicks it. Morcell on the drive. Morcell taking on Manek. And contact and one. Smart move. Daryl Morcell. He saw Manek ready to load up for a block.
Yep.
And went right into the body.
Well, the smart decision was to turn down the three and use that athletic big body to get inside the paint and force your way now to see the ball go through the net.
Hubert Davis making that argument that Morcell jumped into Manek. Morcell's
he did.
He's been a great addition. At 18 points, Marquette's loss against Creighton in the Big East tournament added some offense to his game. We saw a lot of him in the Big Ten with Maryland. He was always a great defensive player, the top defender in the Big Ten under Mark Turgeon at Maryland.
But you know, those Maryland teams were they had so many talented players that Daryl Morcell's role wasn't to score. And not that he couldn't, But it's interesting to see how that opened up for him to see a foul on a good trap by Marquette. It opened up for him once he got to Marquette, because quite honestly, Shaka needed someone to score the basketball besides Justin Lewis, and Daryl Morcell, with his athletic prowess and also his experience, fit the mold for him.
Yeah, that opportunity really intrigued Morcell with Marquette. Shaka Smart was able to secure a number of players from the transfer portal, and instead of a full rebuild, they were picked 9th in the Big East this year.
Yeah, finished 5th.
And stepped on the line, over and back. Morcell guarding Caleb Love. Those two come at it.
Well, maybe that's the fight you need to see right now from Marquette. A fight in a good way in regards to playing a little bit harder, a little bit more aggressive. Try to put North Carolina on their heels. You see the pressure right here. That's the kind of defense that you're accustomed to seeing from a Shaka Smart team. You know, feisty, aggressive, toe the line a little bit, but yet still play hard.
3 veteran officials that calm it down quickly. Kip Kissinger, Lamar Simpson, and Nate Harris. Kolek kicks it. Prosper's had a hot hand out there.
Yep.
He's got another one. Prosper has been their offense. He has 11 now, his 3rd three-pointer. Hasn't missed yet, 4 for 4. The other was a dunk. Manek in the corner, wide open, and he cashes in another one.
Textbook on how you attack pressure. Couple dribbles, make a quick decision, you stay spread. Manek able to capitalize.
Queth, set up by Kolek. And that's going to be a technical on Kerr Queth, hanging on the rim. Lamar Simpson got him with a tee. Two-man game with Kolek and Queth has produced a few baskets, and that little extra pull-up got him right there.
The pull-up got it. That's where, if he just hangs on it like kind of right here, but when he pulls himself up, that was an easy call for the official.
In a spot where Marquette can't afford to give up points.
Nope.
Down 16 with 4:47, and Love will do the honors on the other end with the tee.
Oh.
Caleb Love, an excellent free throw shooter at 87%. He cannot hit that one. And so Shaka Smart enlists the full court pressure once again. That was a staple at VCU, the havoc style defense. It's not as much havoc here at Marquette. Really wasn't at Texas either, but probably needs it at this point to try to get Carolina sped up a little bit.
But you don't have the personnel right now to kind of do that consistently that we saw at VCU, and that's one of the dynamics of being a first-year coach, that how to figure out game plan is how you're going to play defensively.
Love is fouled on his way in. And again, some chatter underneath.
Yeah.
Morcell picks up the foul. That is some matchup. Morcell, a premium defender against a premium scorer in Caleb Love. And right now, Love is winning the battle.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see, too, how the officials, because the chatter, like you talked about, Brian, has begun, will they begin to blow the whistle a little tighter in order to eliminate some of that? If they do, the player's going to have to make that adjustment.
Hey, don't forget, you can join the Mania in the Bleacher Report app. Rep your team, drop your takes, get buzzer-beating alerts and more, all in one place. Scan the code now to download the Bleacher Report app. Never miss a minute of March. 14 for Caleb Love after the free throw, approaching the 4-minute mark. Carolina off to a great start. Now Kolek turns it over, in and out of the hands of Iguodaro. That was a hot pass to a big man.
Well, hot, but it was really good defense that time by R.J. Davis. Kolek a little too hot and spicy with that pass, knowing you didn't have a lot of real estate to work with to get that pass through.
Jimmy, Carolina looks like a totally different team the last 6 weeks of the year as Manek misses the three.
But it takes time to formulate the game plan for players in a new system to get comfortable with their roles, and good defense here by Carolina.
Black leaves it for Bacot. Bacot, no. Manek there to follow. Shaka Smart asking for a travel. And now Shaka is going to get teed up here. So Shaka Smart couldn't quite tell if it was a tee or just a timeout.
That was a tee.
Kip Kissinger pointed at him. Yeah, you saw that. Okay.
Shaka a little upset right now at the officials, but a lot more blame has to do with the play of his team right now. Well, welcome back. And 2 plays here and why Shaka Smart is highly upset. Feels there's a travel right there that the officials missed. And then the last one in transition, 1, 2, 3. You know, this is Texas. It is a 2-step, 3-step. And Kip Kissinger, the official on the baseline, was blocked and couldn't see it. So I understand the frustration right there, especially when your team is not playing well by Shaka Smart. He's saying, listen, not only did you miss 1, you missed 2. And then when I get upset, you give me a tee.
Teed him up, and again, at the line for a free one is R.J. Davis. And both of the technical foul shots have been missed. 20-point Carolina lead. And they are dominating the glass right now. 16 second chance points for Carolina at this point. 1 out of 2. Manek with 13. He's knocked down a couple of threes. He's got 8 rebounds. Love with 14 leads all scorers. Max Prosper, the top scorer for Marquette, with 11.
And the challenging part, too, for Shaka Smart is imploring to his young men, don't allow the offense or lack thereof. It's a great hustle that time on the floor by Love.
I'll tell you, Morcell and
he grabbed
Love, he grabbed him around the neck. You're right.
He grabbed him.
It's about to get real chippy here. I'm wondering if the officials may go to the monitor. Love's complaining. I saw the same thing he's talking about. He went right around his neck.
No, he grabbed it. And Morcell will be lucky if they don't take a look at this, because he did grab him right there. And there it is.
They're going to take a look. So the head referee, Kip Kissinger, who's in his 12th NCAA tournament. That includes a Final Four.
Right here.
He's been around, and they're going to take a look and see if this elevates to a flagrant 1.
A non-basketball play, unnecessary act. Want to disqualify it. It may be a cause for that for the officials to call that a flagrant 1.
It's Kissinger and Nate Harris taking a look at the monitor, which all comes from sight.
And that just shows the frustration from Morcell, who you think from a leadership perspective, veteran perspective, has kind of been there, knows how to control emotions. But again, when your offense is not working for you, you can't allow it, in a simpler said than done, bleed into the defensive end, which it has for this Marquette team, because the ball hasn't gone through the net consistently. They have been inconsistent on the other end of the court.
All right, let's bring in Gene Steratore here. Gene, what'd you see on this play? I have a little trouble with Gene's microphone. I mean, to rise to the level of an F1, a flagrant 1, excessive and or unnecessary, and a lot of times officials will use the marker of was it avoidable or not, and I think
and the reason why I say that was the ball wasn't by him. He wasn't going, and I love Morcell, but the ball is now in Kolek's hands, and right now the act occurs away from actually going for the ball. So they may deem it, the officials, from that perspective.
All right, so Kip Kissinger has brought in Nate Harris and Lamar Simpson. They've had a chance to look at it. We're going to have a ruling here shortly. I think it's the difference between an F1 and an F2 right now.
I think
Let's
F1.
see. I do too.
Yeah.
If only Gene's microphone was working right now. We'll get it fixed.
Well, Gene would agree with me. I mean, he would. That's my man.
All right, let's listen in for the announcement. And Lamar Simpson coming over.
So there's a regular foul? Oh, contact technical. Okay.
All right, there you go. Dead ball contact technical. Thanks to Lamar for coming over with that explanation.
So they took it a step further. Contact technical. North Carolina 2 shots plus the ball.
And so Love will shoot the technical foul shots. And the third trip to the line with tees, another miss.
I tell you, sometimes, man, you know, nobody on the free throw line, he shoots 87% for the year. I'm not going to say it's intimidating, but it's a little bit different.
He shot that second one quick.
Oh, no, yeah, he didn't even think about the second one.
Take the brain out of it.
How about Caleb Love? Now, there's some other great players up in the NBA. Bradley Beal, St. Louis. Jason Tatum,
yes.
St. Louis.
It's quite a run.
Yep.
Caleb Love, he grew up playing in the Bowl Community Center in St. Louis with guys like Tatum and Beal, the legend Larry Hughes, responsible for so many of those players. And Manek comes up short with a three. There's Bacot, another rebound. Bacot has established a new Carolina single-season rebounding record here in this game. All he needed was 5. He's already got 8. 4 of those are offensive rebounds. And it's another opportunity for Carolina with 3:15 remaining. Tar Heels up 22. Love, Stevie Mitchell in the game for Morcell, and Love hits one on him. Love's getting anything he wants right now. 18 points in the first half for Caleb Love. His 5th made 3. It's a 9-0 Carolina run. And up 25 here under 3 minutes to go. Omax Prosper misses his first miss. And it looked like it was last touched by Carolina, but it was called Carolina ball. So all going against Marquette here.
But when you're the aggressive team, a lot of times you get the benefit of the doubt on calls such as that, which may have went to a Marquette if the game was a little bit different. I don't know, but the officials missed that one.
Black in the corner. And that's going the other way. So it stepped out of bounds. Turnover Carolina. And Marquette trying to do all they can to stop this current run and try to get something going into the halftime locker room. Kolek finds Lewis. Lewis has not scored in this first half. Stevie Mitchell, a defensive specialist, and he gives him a little offense, a little floater in the lane. Bacot will take it himself, and a foul. Igadoro with the foul on Bacot. Bacot to the line. And here comes Kirk Queth back on the floor for Marquette.
Well, you talked about the three-point shooting for North Carolina, which is obvious. They're 9 for 21. But also, think about this. They're 9 for 12. 12 free throw attempts. That makes 13 right there. Another one is 14. You're talking about winning basketball games. Right now, Marquette struggling shooting, but can't find themselves to get to the free throw line. Only shot 1 free throw up to this point in the first half.
Bacot has been disruptive in the paint. Scoring, he's in double figures now with 10 points. He's got 8 rebounds. Kolek gives it back. Prosper now with Manek on him. Nowhere to go. Carolina intense defensively as Kolek comes up short, up and over the backboard. Minute 40 remaining in this first half. And the Tar Heels with the ball up 48-23, up 25. And a team that has won 12 of their last 15 games, the North Carolina Tar Heels. Hubert Davis said it was a loss at Wake Forest in his mind that changed everything. As Bacot met at the rim, Queth with a block. That's his 4th block already. Lewis, got to get him going if you're Marquette. He has yet to score, and that'll be Carolina basketball with a bit of 23 left.
Well, here's the beauty of having Kirk Queth inside, his ability to protect the rim. Met him up top and got the better of Bacot on that possession. You see a little trap right here. North Carolina able to break it successfully.
Oh, going
again.
up top. Oh, that was too tall even for Bacot. I mean, it was all set up, but Manek threw it up there halfway up the backboard. Carolina churning that clock, and with 9 to shoot, Love hits another one. What a performance in the first half for Caleb Love. 21 points, 6 made threes. On the other end, Queth answers on the find from Kolek.
I know that Hubert, a shooter in his own right, is loving the fact that Caleb Love is able to find his touch early and often.
Well, he couldn't buy a bucket against Virginia Tech in the ACC tournament. Just 2 for 10. It's a whole different ball game here in the NCAA tournament. Caleb Love putting on a show. Coming up on AT&T at the half. Scores, highlights, and the latest NCAA tournament news. It's all coming up. AT&T at the half. Justin Lewis is 0 for 7. Morcell has had a rough go of it. Caleb Love has been the star here in the first half. Love with 21, 6 of 12 shooting. All 6 of those made baskets coming from beyond the arc. North Carolina with a basketball. 30 seconds remaining in this first half. Marquette had an 8-7 lead early in this game. Since that time, Carolina 44-17. They've outscored them. Denied inside. Looked like Kolek got a hand on that. Queth was right there as well. Shot clock is off. Lewis on the drive. 0 for 8 is Lewis. Bacot another rebound. Black on the run out, and that is a goaltend counted for Leaky Black. Well, Carolina has just taken Marquette's spirit in this first half. Prosper, and that's how the first half comes to an end. All North Carolina. Lewis struggling, their best scorer. A donut in the first half, averages 17 a game. And the Tar Heels go 10 for 22 from three-point range. Round 1 NCAA tournament, March Madness off and running. And the North Carolina Tar Heels lead big at the half here at Fort Worth. Carolina with an eruption in the first half in round 1 here in Fort Worth, 53-25. They're up 28. Brian Anderson with Jim Jackson as we take a look at the first half game stats. And really, it was a blitz by Carolina. And the noteworthy nugget on this line is the fact that Carolina, all these games, 175 NCAA tournament games, it's their second largest halftime lead. Let's take this power pause presented by Powerade to check in with Allie LaForce.
Well, hey, Brian, Brady Manek is having a great start so far to this game. He's 4 for 7. He also has 8 rebounds. But if it was up to Brady years ago, he would have been in Oklahoma sooner. He grew up just 32 miles from the campus. He always wanted to play for them. When he entered the transfer portal, Coach Davis saw it right away. He said, as soon as I saw his highlights, I said, that is the exact guy we need. He finally picked up for Coach Davis after not taking his call the first time. And he told me he was living in North Carolina. He had 3 weeks after he entered the transfer portal. He said it was the first time he had ever lived outside of Oklahoma. He was nervous. He didn't want to go, but he said ultimately, Coach convinced me that it would be a family environment. He also didn't promise me a position. He said I'd have to work for it, and I respected it. Not only that, but he has been every single bit of what he said he would be as a human and as a coach.
Yeah, he's been a great player, fan favorite as well. He's got his parents here, his brother. He's just 3.5 hours from his hometown here in Fort Worth. He grew up just outside Oklahoma City. Marquette cannot convert on their first possession of the second half. So, Jimmy, that first half, if you're Marquette right now, you're a long way from home and you're down 28 points. I mean, what are some of the pieces Shaka Smart's trying to get right for the second half?
Well, it starts on the defensive end. You got to protect the glass, finish your defense with the rebound, and then you can get to your point of attack like right now. And offensively, don't allow the missed shots to, again, take away the energy that we saw in the first half. And right now, you got to get Justin Lewis especially involved in the offense in 2 empty possessions this time, and now North Carolina taking advantage of it.
Manek on the receiving end, set up beautifully by Davis. The lob a success, and it is a 30-point North Carolina lead. Marquette folks will remind Carolina fans that in 1977, the national championship game was won by Al McGuire and Marquette. North Carolina would quickly remind Marquette fans that in 2011, just 11 years ago in the Sweet 16, they had a huge lead, a 25-point lead over Marquette at the half. Today it was 28.
And those 53 points by North Carolina was the most in a half, first half, that Marquette has given up all year.
Kolek for three. That's been the story for Marquette. Now Manek on a run out, got two running with him, and he leaves it for Black, who lays it in. Carolina in transition.
Yeah, but not only that, it was the shot went up and Queth had the ball in his hands. Okay, you got to be stronger with that offensive rebound. That deflection by Carolina just basically led to that fast break.
Lewis still has not scored. Trying again, three-pointer on its way. Finally, one goes down for Justin Lewis. Had been 0 for 9. Lewis, Marquette's top scorer. He averages 17 a game. Redshirt freshman. The most improved player in the Big East this year. And it has been a struggle. Man, oh, a flurry of moves. Scores it over Prosper. There's his parents right there, the Maneks, Carrie and Tina. And his brother Kellen here as well, who's a terrific player at Southeastern. As Prosper cashes a three-pointer in. About the only offense coming from beyond the arc in the first half was from Prosper. He has made 4 of the 5 Marquette three-pointers.
You know, from an offensive perspective, Kolek 0 points, Greg Elliott 0 points, and you saw Justin Lewis just finally able to scratch the scoreboard.
Long three from Love. That's short. Definitely checking the thermometer on that one, and why wouldn't you? Love with 21 first half points. He's still 50% from three-point range, even with that miss.
Yeah, you can definitely tell who has the ultra green light on this Carolina team, and I'm not mad at Hubert for understanding that.
Up ahead, and Bacot throws it down. A beautiful lob in transition. Omax Prosper for three. Bacot rips down the board. He's stacking them up as well. Bacot with 12 points, 10 rebounds, got a double-double. Set a North Carolina program record for double-doubles this season. Had 25 in the regular year, including a double-double in their loss against Virginia Tech. Manek is fouled. They'll get Queth on the foul. Well, R.J. Davis leaves it. Bacot throws it down, and North Carolina's rolling in Texas. Time for the thrilling drives presented by Nissan. Jimmy Jacks, how about the Carolina Tar Heels in transition?
Well, we were playing together. This would be you. Brian, you be the point guard.
Yes.
R.J. Davis, just throw it up to your bigs and me, and we'll be all happy. So 7 assists for R.J. Davis. And then, think about it. We talked about Baylor. And we were gushing over how they shared the rock, assisted made field goals. But right now, Carolina following that same line with the number of assists that they have, 18 to 20 made field goals.
Right out of the timeout, Brady Manek sticks another three-pointer. And it's starting to feel like a North Carolina-Baylor round 2 matchup here in Fort Worth. I mean, Carolina just has kept the gas down. They're up 31 points now. And Iguodaro, that would look like a foul on Bacot. No call there.
Yeah, the 2 hands around the waist prevented Iguodaro from finishing that, and there's Manek.
He's feeling
it.
Brady Manek.
Ever since he put that headband back on.
That's his brother Kellen right there. Talented player in his own right. And a level down, and that one's good for Kolek. He needed to see one go through.
Yeah.
Tyler Kolek, transfer from George Mason. Hey, Manek, such a good fit. 4 years at Oklahoma. Never really, as Alex said, never really thought about playing anywhere else. Hubert Davis finally got in touch with him on a Tuesday, and he was a Carolina Tar Heel on a Friday. That's how fast that went down. Stevie Mitchell with a steal. Mitchell going all the way, lays it in.
Well, it's interesting how coaches today, when they lose talent, want to build their team. Of course, with older, mature players, because you don't have to teach as much. You may have to teach the offense, defense, the philosophies, but not the little intricate details on how to play. at this level. So it does give you a little bit of advantage when you get a senior-oriented player with experience. And it also helps. It helps a lot. It helps tremendously when you have a guy like that, Bacot, on the bottom, on the baseline that you can feed the basketball to. Again, the rebounding at 12.5 and then the 16.5 points.
AT&T 5G giving us a look above the rim. One of the best plays of the game, Armando Bacot. And back on the floor, Dontrez Styles got a little time in the first. Leaky Black will sit.
Now, it'll be interesting, Brian, I'm going to touch off that how the scouts and NBA view Bacot because of the way the game is played today, the pick and pop, 4-5. We know he's a tremendous rebounder, can play defense, can score inside. A beautiful pass by Mitchell to Iguodala. Just the evaluation process of this young man, because he's had such a great year.
Well, second in the voting for Player of the Year in the ACC. That could have gone either way. I mean, it was a close battle. Bacot ended up at the IMG Academy prior to his time at Carolina and really got his body right, got his game right, and a breakout star this season. Manek turns it over. Joplin on the run out. Joplin leaves it up for Iguodala, comes up short. Offensive rebound, missed it. Iguodala is fouled. And free throws coming for Oso Iguodala. Bacot keeps stacking up the double-doubles, and a big man, you know, the big man with a big role. Guard play usually drives the NCAA tournament, but this is the kind of guy that can have a major impact. And now 26 double-doubles. Tim Duncan, the great Tim Duncan at Wake Forest.
Who's that?
You might remember a few
run-ins
with Tim Duncan.
The name sounds familiar. You know what's funny about Tim Duncan? He told me this.
Other than the fact he kept you up at night? No, go ahead.
Well, no, you did do that. But he told me that when he was younger, he attended an Ohio State basketball camp that I worked. I said, man, what a fool am I that I didn't see you try to recruit you.
Oh, Styles my God. Cocks it back and throws it down with two hands. Carolina again getting out on transition. So you didn't reckon, you know, scouting was not in your future, apparently?
No, that wasn't. No. Obviously, we let that one go right there. But
Cam Jones with his first basket of the game. Well, if you're on a list with Tim Duncan at the collegiate level with another dunk, I mean, it's dunk city right now. Manek with a two-handed jam. Manek's got 25 now. He's a rebound away from a double-double. Caleb Love's got 21. Bacot's 15 and 10. And again, it's R.J. Davis. Rocking the rims here in Fort Worth. Back-to-back assists from Davis.
Yep, and he proves, Brian, that you can have as much fun dropping dimes off to your teammates and watch their excitement, and then you yourself benefit from it. 11 assists.
Manek will sit. And Jones going to be called for the foul here. It's got to be so frustrating for Marquette. You know, a season that there was so much uncertainty with Shaka Smart arriving, leaving Texas, arriving to Marquette. He's from Madison, Wisconsin. It was a bit of a homecoming for him. A great fit, it felt like, but they were picked ninth. They really didn't know what they had. And all the transfers that were coming in ended up getting hot in the middle of the season. Had some big wins this year. 9 new players coming into the program. And a lot of expectations coming into this NCAA tournament game. And just to have a performance like this, got to be really frustrating for Marquette and their fans.
Well, and that's the challenge, too, is that you can put the game plan in place. You can do all the scouting you want. But these young men have to be ready to play, and you have to be able to absorb that first hit a lot of times. And Marquette didn't absorb it very well. And they allowed, again, missing of shots to really affect and take the steam out of the defensive end, and then North Carolina just continued to dominate.
Well, here was a guy that torched him in the first half, Love, and he's fouled. So Joplin picks up the foul. Love has been quiet in the second half, but he really did all of his work in the first half with those 21 points and 6 made threes, which ties a career high for Caleb Love. Davis, 6 to shoot, gets free. Take one himself this time after helping out everybody else. Under 12 minutes to go, and Black fouls Prosper, part of the Freedom of Movement initiative. Timeout on the floor. Tar Heels getting all they want today. All right, Adam, thank you. Gonzaga, 12 straight wins in the round of 64. Second longest streak in the NCAA. Kansas, who will be on this floor a little bit later tonight, wrapping up our day in Fort Worth. They've won 14 straight. Georgia State, by the way, coached by Rob Lanier.
Yeah.
You know that. The former Siena coach, the cousin of Bob Lanier, the NBA Hall of Famer. Marquette with a basketball here. Carolina has had great success in their opening round matchup, and a team that was red hot coming in has stayed that way. Ghidorah can't get it to go, and Davis able to run it down, and here's Morcell, and he's fouled, and one for Daryl Morcell.
I'll tell you something that's funny. And Morcell was able to get that basket, but when R.J. Davis is running out of bounds, the difference between your teammates catching you and everybody, look, they didn't try to catch. They gave him a little elbow on the side. They weren't as open to. At least they didn't move out the way and let him hit the seat. But it's a big difference, man, when you're on the other side of the opposing of your bench when you fly out of bounds.
You know, quietly, I wouldn't even say quietly because the numbers are there, but R.J. Davis has had a fantastic game as a facilitator.
Oh, yeah.
To organize the offense. You know, they moved him into that point guard role, and he's done a great job for Hubert Davis. Not that true point guard on this roster, but Davis has gotten better and better, and that bodes well.
Well, you know, she'll travel in college basketball. To win a championship, your guard player has to be solid. Has to be very good. Now, R.J. Davis, is he your prototypical point guard? No. But what he's not doing is making mistakes. He's making plays for his teammates, okay? And that's what you want in particular when you get into the tournament, is that type of leadership, playmaking ability. And he's doing an excellent job on the defensive end of the court as well.
Well, Caleb Love a little looser with the basketball. So Davis is the guy, the security blanket. He's the stabilizer. Saw the numbers, 11 assists. No turnovers today. And give him another one as Bacot scores inside. So that's 12 dimes for R.J. Davis. Bacot was 17, a double-double today, 17 and 10. 4 offensive rebounds. Even Bacot with 3 assists.
Long.
Air ball from Prosper.
Yeah, I think you can track, too, the progression of how this North Carolina team has gotten better with the progression of how much more comfortable R.J. Davis felt facilitating and running the offense. They kind of go hand in hand with a lot of other factors as to why North Carolina has been playing excellent basketball on the back end. But when your guard players like that, I mean, for young kids who are watching right now, that shows you're going to have an impact on the game outside of putting the ball through the hoop.
Well, Carolina in their first year under Hubert Davis, they were in the preseason polls at 19. They fell quickly. They lost to Purdue. They lost to Tennessee. Had a blowout loss at Kentucky in December. As Manek comes right back on the floor and continues to deliver the darts. He's got 28 now. It's so interesting talking to Hubert Davis as Lewis gets a couple of offensive rebounds. Still cannot finish inside. And Iguodala's there. Another miss. Summary of the day for the Marquette Golden Eagles. Hey, you can watch live men's games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming with NCAA March Madness Live. Scan the QR code right now to download. As much as we all and everybody who's around the Carolina program wants to talk about that Duke win, which is going to be a signature win. It's the moment of the year. You beat Duke on the road, Coach K's final game. Hubert Davis was quick to turn and talk about the loss at Wake and feeling like that's where everything got galvanized. And as Puff Johnson on the run out. Again in transition, Carolina like a blur to the basket. Sometimes those losses, you have to know who you are at that point, and they certainly had to turn their season around. If they were going to get off the bubble, maybe even miss the tournament altogether, it's been a totally different story. Johnson again on the run out.
Well, I can relate to that. My freshman year, we had a tough non-conference schedule. I mean, we played DePaul, who was ranked. It was LaSalle, North Carolina State, Oklahoma State. I mean, we got drilled early. I mean, we got drilled. And we came back off of this trip from North Carolina State, and Coach made us airs off the plane right from practice. I mean, off the plane at night, go to the track and run. But it was at that point that we found ourselves. You see a shot right there by Manek. We found ourselves as a team. After that, we bonded and got together and ultimately got to the tournament that year. Got beat by UNLV, but like you said, that loss or those losses brought us closer together instead of spreading us further apart.
Oh, it could have that effect as Lewis knocks down his first three-pointer, make it a second three, I beg your pardon. You never know what's going to turn a season.
Yeah.
And coaches all the time, they talk about the intensity of playing games, and it ratchets up from the non-conference to conference play. And then it's another ratchet up when you get to the NCAA tournament. And you know it's one and done. Davis, hey, cannot get the miss. Johnson going to be called for the foul. And that'll put the ball in Marquette's hands. Ryan Kalkbrenner and the Creighton Blue Jays have arrived. They're coming up next, Creighton and San Diego State here in Fort Worth. Carolina led by 28 at the half. They're up by 30 right now, 83-53. And looks like a day with the defending national champions, the Baylor Bears. Brady Manek, Jimmy, with 28 points. That's a season high. He's 3 off a career high. And this is turning into a record-setting performance on a lot of levels for
North Expound, please.
Well, you got some assist records in the offing as R.J. Davis currently has 12. He's 2 off a Carolina record in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, you can't tease us like that and then just leave it there.
I've been sprinkling them in, sprinkling them in throughout the.
No, you have. You've done an outstanding job. I mean, and it's crazy too because the first tournament game, Carolina, to be able to do that in regards to a number of records, in particular against a team like Marquette, that you figured would pose much more of a challenge, to this Carolina team. Unfortunately, that just hasn't been the case this afternoon.
Here's Johnson, three-pointer on its way. No, there's Kolek with a rebound. Stevie Mitchell. Got some good minutes here in this game, and that's going to be a block. Yeah, so you had Caleb Love, who had 21 first-half points. He hasn't scored in the second half, but his season high for a half, as you see the foul on Puff Johnson. His older brother Cam's got to be proud. Puff Johnson, and Cam's having a great year as well. I mean, his game just keeps getting better and better. And you just wonder if Puff's going to have, you don't want to put that expectation on him, but a level of improvement because of the work ethic. And Cam was a guy who started at Pitt and then ended up at Carolina and just kept getting better and better. And now a major piece to the Phoenix Suns.
What's interesting too about Cam Johnson is that when James Jones, drafted Cam, there was a lot of question. Beautiful move by Love, not able to finish. Was that the right choice for Phoenix at the time?
Yeah.
But he found something. He saw something in Cam that once he grew, matured his body and his mind, he could give him something. So he took that chance based on how they played. Now it's paid off for not just Cam, but the Phoenix Suns themselves.
Prosper gets the steal from Love and a jam on the other end. Yeah, Roy Williams used to say the same thing about Cam Johnson. There was something in him, and these coaches talk, and good to see Roy Williams in the arena here today, watching his protege. Manek leaves it for Styles.
And he wanted to throw the alley-oop the first time, but he couldn't get it over the top of Joplin, took one more dribble and gave it up to Styles for an easy one. And I'll tell you what, we ran up for a good one with Carolina and Baylor.
Yes, that'll be Saturday. That is going to be a really good matchup with a hot team in Carolina and the defending national champs in the Baylor Bears as Johnson goes to the rack.
28 assists, 31 made field goals. I mean,
massive numbers. David Joplin, kid out of Brookfield, Wisconsin, right there in the Milwaukee area.
see, Hubert may have to do this. So I saw him at Del Frisco's the other day, and it took him a long time to get their food. He may have to duplicate that somewhere else and go back to Del Frisco.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever you did.
Did he notice that you slipped your meal in on their bill?
You know what?
That's an old move by Jim Jackson. And by the way, who envisioned greatness today other than Jim Jackson? You can tune into Inside March Madness presented by Buick and find out. See, the play is, and this is an old Bill Raftery move, you find out where, you know, a blue blood is having their team dinner. You go to that place, and then you send that bill over, and that's something that you've taken up very well, Jim.
I've taken it a step further. Because both Kansas and North Carolina.
They each got, you got a gift certificate.
So I said, just split it down the middle and give half the bill to each. And I just walked out and had a cigar afterwards.
Good cigar town here in Fort Worth, Jimmy.
Hey, listen, I'm not called America's guest for no reason.
Here's Love. I mean, he's just showing off now, and he hits the backboard a little too far out of his reach.
Yeah.
Marquette's got a Marion Ellis on the floor, a freshman from Iowa. Get him some minutes. All right, so the Marquette story, you covered this team quite a bit during the regular season in the Big East. Shaka Smart, he'll be entering year 2. What is their process moving forward? They've got some nice recruits coming in. I think it feels like, to me, he wants to change the style of play a little bit back to the Havoc days. Would you agree? Yes
and no from the perspective. I understand you still need more three-point shooting, okay? Yes, you do want to get quicker at the guard position in order to press up. But the pieces are there. Iguodala is only a redshirt freshman. Tyler Kolek is a redshirt freshman, okay? Omax Prosper is a redshirt freshman, and so is Justin Lewis. So the building blocks, and Cam Jones is a freshman. So the building blocks are there. You've got to sprinkle in, I think, some more help inside, some more shooting. You do that, and the mantra of how you want to play, it starts to get defined a lot easier once you're able to get the kind of prospects you know can fit your system. And that's why I've always said that I thought that Marquette was the perfect place for Shaka to kind of rebuild his brain.
Timeout on the floor, out of bounds. Carolina trying to take us to the finish line here. They got a date with the Baylor Bears on Saturday. Well, we got a lot of college basketball coming your way. NCAA tournament continues. Some great matchups here. And how about Kentucky maybe falling off the one line with the loss in the SEC tournament, Jim?
Yeah, but a chance to kind of recapture some of that magic. Older team, a different team for Calipari this year. How about UConn and New Mexico State? I mean, the 12 versus the 5 is always a good one. And shout out to my boy, Coach Woodson, a former coach at the Cleveland Cavaliers, a great player, of course, at Indiana. A lot of questions. Did Indiana deserve to be in the tournament? Did they? Well, they were able to win their playing game, and now they get a chance to compete. So
remember that run UCLA made out of the first 4.
That's right.
Last year. We were there for most of it. It can be done. Shaka Smart was the first to go from the first 4 to the final 4 with VCU.
And as you know, it's all matchups. I mean, UCLA last year, that tough, hard-fought game when they got over Michigan State, that galvanized that team a lot more, who had talent. and pushed them all the way to the Final Four.
DeMarco Dunn off the bench, picks up a foul. You saw Caleb Love go to the bench. He's done for the day, finishes with 23 points. Don't forget, you can watch CBS Sports HQ for the best coverage of the big dance. Tournament highlights, picks, previews, recaps, much more on the free 24/7 Sports Network. Download the CBS Sports app to watch today. So for Marquette, Marion Ellis at the line. Morcell still on the floor as he wraps up his collegiate career. Ellis, Greg Elliott, Iguodaro and Joplin, Stiles, Puff Johnson, McCoy, and Dunn on the floor for Carolina. And in the corner, Kerwin Walton comes up empty. Haven't seen much of Walton and McCoy, a couple of guys that come in off the bench. McCoy, the Virginia transfer. Our crew here in Fort Worth will continue on True TV tonight. San Diego State and Creighton will be first up, and then the top-seeded Kansas Jayhawks in the Midwest region. They'll be taking on Texas Southern. A follow jam by Dontrez Styles. Well, North Carolina, after about the 3-minute mark into this game, started to catch fire, and it was namely Caleb Love, the sophomore. 21 first-half points for Love. Manek has ended up with massive numbers as Morcell is fouled. And by the way, for Manek, 28 points, which is a season high, 11 rebounds. He made 5 threes. No Carolina player in NCAA tournament history has put those numbers together. 28, 11, and 5 made threes. And Morcell at the line. For the first time ever, the Stanley Cup playoffs are on TNT and TBS. You don't want to miss a minute. You can watch starting May 5th. To see who will raise the cup.
You know, it's interesting about Hubert vying to get Manek, who ultimately is a perfect complement to Armando Bacot because he can spread the floor. He gives Bacot space to work. So good complementary player in regards to outside shooting. Bacot can score inside, can facilitate with the ball. So finding the kind of proper matchups and who fits, especially when you want to play two bigs, but bigs that are different. One that can step out and shoot, and another one if you need a tough basket, an offensive rebound you can pound it down to, they can come through when needed.
Daryl Morcell checks out after a terrific collegiate career. First at Maryland and then finishing up at Marquette as Stevie Mitchell scores. Coming to the end here. Carolina led by 28 at the half. And up 32 with a minute and a half to go. Styles, good looking freshman. Marco Dunn, another talented freshman out of Tucson, top 50 recruit, taken away from Joplin. And some walk-ons making their way to the table. That'll be a thrill for them to be able to get into a game here. As Ellis launches a three. Joplin, the offensive board, and a putback. Johnson all the way to the basket once again. Johnson has 11. Having one of his best games as Marquette travels. And the subs are coming in. Creighton Lebo on the floor. Ryan McAdoo.
Familiar names in the North Carolina lineage. Lebo.
Son of Bob McAdoo. Two-way Ferris going to get a little run here too. 44 and change remaining in this round one matchup. Well, it might be a blowout at the end of the game, but a number of guys out on the floor right now. Going to be a memory for a lifetime here. Michael Kennedy, Brendan Carney of Marquette, Cameron Brown, all getting on the floor in an NCAA tournament game. DeMarco Dunn, Ryan McAdoo, Dewey Ferris, and Creighton Lebo on the floor for North Carolina. As this one comes to an end, you got a steal from Lebo.
Shoot it.
Gives it up. Got to put it up.
Well, if you're a McAdoo, you're going to shoot the ball. I can guarantee you that.
Let it fly. Everybody let it fly. Lebo as well.
I should tell him that his father still owes me some money in the shooting game.
Is that right?
When we were together, my assistant coach at the Miami Heat. Still doesn't like to lose.
I'm not passing right here if I'm Carney, and he puts it up.
Put it up.
Oh, get in there.
Get it. Come on.
Man, these guys work so hard all year. You know, for the stars like yourself, these are the guys that get you ready. Kind of like what I do on a daily basis.
See, you just had to throw that in there, didn't you? You even turned your shoulder and kind of gave me the eye contact when you said that.
You know, I was doubting myself when we were going to Jim Jackson about time on the floor for the guys, the walk-ons. You would know nothing about that. So that's the end of the line from Marquette. The North Carolina Tar Heels roll today. An impressive victory in Hubert Davis's first NCAA tournament as a head coach. 95-63. And the season comes to an end for Marquette. A surprising season in a lot of ways, but it ends here in Fort Worth. Baylor and North Carolina, a 1-8 matchup, and Carolina not looking like an 8 right now. They are surging.